Governor Inslee of Washington State is a complete and utter douchebag, authoritarian, piece of human. I left that expletive out, but you get my point here. So Governor Inslee to mandate the COOF vax for all private businesses. Imagine that. A government entity, the governor, basically saying that here's how you're going to run your business. Now, I know what you're going to say out there, normies. Well, that happens in all states. They tell you how you can run your business. Shut up, normies. Get off the liberal plantation. Understand this is bullcrap. So you got a governor who's going to tell, let's say, a comic shop how he's got to run his business. Let's say he's got 3 employees, him including which be 4. And he's going to tell you comic shop owner, that you have to vaccinate everybody. Let's say one of your person has some sort of medical condition, and hey boss, I can't do this because of X, Y, and Z. Going further than that, that's none of the employer's business on what his vaccination status is. It's not. It's not even his business on what venereal diseases perhaps he has, or it's not. It's just your medical history for working at a comic shop is none of the employer's business, and it's definitely not the government's business. They want to make it their business, and some states are going out of their way to make it their business, but it's not. But they're trying to. See, this package, which is an extension of the current mandates, grants Inslee the ability to enforce COOF vaccine mandates in all private businesses in the state of Washington, and extends his emergency powers indefinitely. Key point. There is no timetable on this. There is no sunset. There is no, these powers, go back to the people January 1st, 2022. Nothing like that. He just has to, all he does is goes, yeah, I'm going to keep emergency powers, keep going. You know what we call that? That's called authoritarian. This is where it gets interesting. Interesting being authoritarian. So the Department of Labor and Industries filed an emergency rulemaking package last week extending emergency powers to Democrat Governor Jay Inslee. This package, which is an extension of current mandates, grants Inslee the ability to enforce COOF vaccine mandates on all private business in the state of Washington, according to elected officials. Get that? Did you hear that right? You had an unelected bureaucrats in the Department of Labor and Industries giving the governor more power to enforce anything he wants. More emergency powers, okay? So, what we call that is authoritarian, because I guarantee you there's a bunch of filthy fucking socialist pieces of human shit in the Department of Labor and Industries. And they just said, nah, we'll just give you more emergency powers. You can deal with it whatever you want. So, the Department of Labor and Industries gives Jay Inslee more power, where he gives the Department of Labor and Industries more power under his edicts. What a vicious cycle. Did this go through the legislature in Washington State? Of course not. And even if it did, Washington State would pass it because they're a bunch of goddamn socialist pieces of shit. Luckily, there is Eastern Washington that doesn't like to put up with this crap. So the state House Representatives Jim Walsh and Jesse Young released a statement on Monday condemning the actions of the LNI. This mandate from the LNI demonstrates a complete lack of transparency, which dilutes public trust in our government and fails to show agencies good faith in promulgating the rule. The reality is, this move by the LNI is a blank check for the agency to enforce any of the governor's mandates or edicts on private employers. Once again, LNI gives the governor more power, which in turn, the governor gives the LNI more power. How the hell does that even work? I think I described it perfectly. So, if the LNI desires to make such a rule, it should do in an open and transparent manner that allows public review and comment. Yeah, if they do that, then people will stand up and fight it, but they can't have that. They do it in private. Imagine that. A government run in secret, in the dark, granting the king, if you will, King Inslee, more fucking power to do whatever he wants, which in turn gives the Department of LNI more power to do what they want. Imagine that. What a very incestuous act. Even if an opportunity for review and comment is not afforded to the public, LNI's website should be proposed rulemaking to grant easy access to the public. They can't do that because of reasons. You can't give yourself more power and then let the people know that you're granting yourself more power. That would be going against the rules of the authoritarian left. Furthermore, adopting such a broad, vague rule without clear direction will lead to arbitrary enforcement. And again, you're going to have the cops going to enforce these mandates willy-nilly, and they don't give a crap. We're just following the law. We're just doing our job. Really? Really? You're just doing your job. You know, just like all I have to do is look back on Mao and his Great Leap Forward when you had camp guards give people numbers on their jumpsuits who weren't afford a name anymore. You were just given a number, and those guards forced these people to work till they died, essentially. And those camp guards were just doing their job. I'm sure you police out there in Washington State are just gonna do your job with a fucking smile on your face, and you should be a fucking ashamed of yourself, but you're not, because you have a job. Walsh and Young questioned the ethics of labor and industries and said the department cannot demonstrate that it exercised honestly to arrive at the rules granted to Governor Inslee. There is no clear case for good cause or preservation of public health, safety, or general welfare, as the governor's proclamation already addresses these issues, making Illinois' mandate arbitrary and capricious. We call on the governor to immediately repeal this mandate. He won't. If Illinois wants to push this policy, it needs to go through the proper channels and work with the legislature. It's not going to work with the legislature. I get their sentiment, and I see they got to say something, but they've already mandated it. The governor's going to go, yep, I got more power. The people that I appointed in this office are giving me more power. What can I do? In the video, Walsh said, this is not legal and it's not moral. We're absolutely falling into some sort of Stockholm syndrome that's taken a hold of the legislature here in Olympia. And rather than being the active check against the governor's abuses, we're following the governor's lead. That's not what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be standing up to and representing you and giving you a voice in the John L. O'Brien building over there under the dome. Inslee issued vaccine mandate in August, and unlike other mandates across the country, provided no option to test out. His message was clear: obey or lose your job. Despite mass protests across the state, with thousands of state workers in attendance, Inslee followed through with those orders and terminated thousands that decided not to comply. That's all part of the plan. You get the people out that will stand up to you. You hire people that will comply with you. Make no bones about it. The police are going to get worse in Washington State. You think the DMV in Washington State is going to be better now? But now they got people who will be complicit to the governor's authoritarian measures. You think they're going to bend the rules for you? Fuck that. They ain't going to bend shit for you. Those affected by the first wave of vaccine mandates were state and city workers, including firefighters, law enforcement, healthcare workers, public and private school employees, power line workers, and caregivers. Seattle Mayor Jenny Durkan, Summer of Love, imposed a near-identical mandate with the same October 18th deadline as governor and terminated essential employees in departments that are already understaffed, like the Seattle Police and Fire Department. And this is where they go. You see, we're just doing our job. We can't do anything. So stupid idiots out there that won't get jib-jabbed. Oh, they won't get jib-jabbed. They're ignoring the science. We're just following the science. Yeah, you still need to pay us taxes, but your services in the government are going to be slow to none. So, as of Monday, October 25th, Washington State residents living in King County, which includes Seattle, are required to show proof of vax or negative COVID test to enter establishments, including restaurants, bars, gyms, movie theaters, and other entertainment venues. I don't fucking see how this is even remotely constitutional. I don't. Your health and your health status is none of anybody else's businesses. I don't care if you've got the hantavirus. Still not none of my business. You should be smart enough, if you've got a debilitating disease or sickness, to stay the fuck home. But we live in a free society. I think. Nay, we used to live in a free society. I don't know anymore. If Inslee follows through on Illinois' emergency rulemaking package, all business employees in the state of Washington will be subject to submitting proof of vax as a condition of employment. Jay Inslee, he is Well, Cuomo's the worst. Now Jay Inslee's probably the worst. And then that New York new governor, she's fucking terrible too. But this goes to show you that you give government a fucking inch and they're going to take 20 fucking miles on your ass. And you know what? And then some government agency will allow the government to take 20 more fucking miles on your ass. This is incestuous. This is not constitutional. But, again, you can file suit, you can do all that crap, but in the end, unless you remove Jay Inslee, either at the ballot box or much, much further down the road by some sort of other means, this shit will continue. You people, you normies out in Washington State, you need to step the fuck up. You need to push back against King Jay Inslee's bullshit and the LNI's bullshit. Because if you don't, reap the whirlwind. And you know what? It's your fault if you allow this to continue.